Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and I'm super excited because I have the Yogurt Nail Korea Tanghulu collection to share with you today. Full disclosure, this was gifted to me as PR from Sweetie Nail Supply. However, I will always share my honest opinions on any products that I use. And honestly, I was really excited for this collection because it's a set of 10 syrup gel polish colors. You can see the swatch card right here. But what got me really excited is these colors are absolutely perfect for fall. So if you want some fall or Falloween nail inspiration, stick around and we'll do a fun set together. But before we get into that, let's do some swatching of the collection and then we'll jump into the set. Here are all the colors all swatched out, so glassy and just perfect for fall. I was really inspired after I swatched out these colors, and I love when that happens. I'll leave this collection linked down below in the description if you want to pick this up, or if you want to pick up anything else from Sweetie Nail Supply. I also do have an affiliate code, so you can use code Genie10 to save 10% off your orders if you do any shopping. It's at no additional cost to you, and it helps support me and this channel. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the nail set. I'm going to start off with a sheer base color for my ring finger and thumb, and if you've been around my channel, you know that the Doi Nudie gels are my absolute favorite. I decided to pull out the Nudie Blush Pink, and I think it's slightly edging out the Nudie Pink as my favorite base color. I love that it's not too bright of a pink and it's not too dark either. It's just like that slight wash of color. It hides any imperfections, and I think it just goes so well with my skin tone. So I absolutely love this, especially because it's just so easy to apply. I never have any streakiness with it. And like 2 layers is like my perfect coverage when I want just that slight tint of base. So after I finish with my first layer, I'm going to cure my hand for a full 60 seconds, and then I'm going to go in with a second layer. While I'm working on my second layer, here's a fun fact for you, because I was really curious what in the world Tanghulu meant, because I figured it had to mean something. So I ended up Googling the meaning of it, and I also Googled how to pronounce it. Hopefully I'm not still butchering the pronunciation, but this is what Google told me to say. So if you're curious like me, tanghulu is actually skewered fruit. So it's fruit like strawberries and things on a skewer, and then it's dipped into like a hard candy shell, and it sounds and looks absolutely amazing. Apparently, this is like a snack that originated in China and then gained popularity in Korea. So I think next time in Korea, I may have to seek it out and see if I can try it. I'm going to apply all my base colors first before I get into the nail art. So for my middle finger, I'm going to be using this syrup gel number 44, which is part of the collection. I really love this color because it's like a light tan camelish color. It's just like a very warm and cozy fall type color. And this is going to be the perfect base for a plaid design. I'm not a huge fan of wearing plaid on like my clothes. However, I absolutely love plaid nail art, especially in the fall time and into Christmas time. I love plaid nail art because it's something that looks so cool. It looks harder than it actually is. I think the hardest part about plaid nail designs is just drawing straight lines, which is a lot more difficult, but I find that like having longer liner brushes helps with that. But I just love how easy it is, and I love that there is like no right way to do plaid. Like you can do different designs and patterns, you can do different colors to change it up. So I just love that there's so much variety in plaid nails that you can create. But before I get into the nail art, I want to finish up my base color. So the last color I'm going to be using is syrup gel number 49. This is going to go on my index finger and pinky. And I'm going to tie this blue into the plaid nails. And that way all the colors kind of tie together. Now that I finished with my base colors, I'm going to get into some nail art, and I'm starting with my thumb. So for my thumb, I'm going to be using syrup number 41. This is the deep dark vampy red, and I'm going to do a French tip on this nail. So I just put some of that gel down on my palette, and I'm picking it up with my liner brush, and I'm going to start with a horizontal line across my free edge. And this is going to be the line where I want my French tip to stop. So you can go higher up, you can go lower up. This is just my preference. And then from that line, I'm going to draw a vertical line down the center of my nail. It's just for me to actually find the center of my nail and get it as centered as possible. And then from that line, I'm going to draw a curved line up towards my sidewall. You can make it higher up, you can make it lower up as well, but I just want to make sure that both sides are even. So once I do that on the other side, I'm going to try to find the point where I stopped on the other side and draw that curved line down towards the center as well. And then once I have that outline down, just to make it a little bit quicker, I'm going to use the brush that's in the bottle, and I'm going to fill in that free edge area, just being really careful to make sure that I stay inside the outline that I created and just fill that in. I find this is the easiest way because I can't just easily draw a French tip and make it look halfway decent with the bottle and the brush. So I like to do the outline first. So I cured the first layer for a full 60 seconds, and now I'm going to go in with my second layer. For my second layer, because I already have that outline down, I have like my template, I'm just going to go ahead, start with the brush in the bottle, fill in as much as I can. I'm going to get close to the edges, but I'm not going to go at the edges. I'll actually use the liner brush to refine it, but I'm just going to fill in first. And then now I'm taking the liner brush, and then I'm going to make sure that I go in at the edges to crisp up that French tip line. This will kind of partially be covered anyway because I'll be doing a plaid design on top of it, but I still wanted the French tip to look pretty. So I'm going to continue refining that, fill that in, and then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to cure that for another full 60 seconds. Once my French tip is fully cured, I'm going to go in and do a plaid design on top of it. And I wanted to pull in some white for the plaid design. And since this collection didn't have a white, I decided to pull in my yogurt gel. This is 01. I think it has a name, but it doesn't say on the bottle, so I'll leave it linked down below in the description. It's a really great opaque white. So I just put some of that down on my palette, and I'm using a little bit of a longer liner brush. And on the right side of my nail, I'm going to draw a vertical line down that right side. I find that if you don't have steady hands, because I definitely don't, it's actually easier to do longer lines using a longer lining brush because you have more control over it. So if you struggle with straight lines, try a longer brush and it may be a little bit easier. I just kind of deepened it up a little bit more and then I'm going to go in with a second line on the right side of it, a little bit thinner. So I want those two white lines on the right side of my nail vertically. I went ahead, cured that, flash cured it just so I didn't mess it up. And then at that free edge area around where my French tip stopped, I'm going to draw a horizontal line across that free edge area. It's just going to be a straight line. I just want to make sure that it's connecting to the end and it's not just like randomly stopping on my nail. I went ahead and flash cured that. I'm flash curing as I'm going because if I mess up a subsequent layer, I don't have to redo the layers that I flash cured. So now I'm going in with, I forgot the name of this. I think this is syrup number 44. It's a tan color that's on my middle finger because I want to tie the colors together. So underneath that horizontal white line, I'm taking that tan and I'm drawing a line horizontally underneath that. I'm going to need to do two layers because I'm doing it on top of that deep red. And since it's a syrup gel, you can't really see it as well. But before I do that, at around my cuticle area, I'm just going to draw another horizontal line, and hopefully that you can start to see that plaid design starting to come to life. And so, there's no right or wrong way to do a plaid. I did kind of take inspiration from like a bunch of Pinterest photos that I found on like a plaid design that I wanted to do. And then the last thing I'm going to do with this tan is on the left side of the nail, I'm going to draw a vertical line down the left side of my nail, similar to what I did for my right side, except it's going to be the tan and it's only going to be one line. So once I've got all those, I flash cured it, No, no, I fully cured it because now I want to go in with a second layer to deepen up that color so you could show up a little bit more. I told you that I was going to incorporate some of that blue that's on my index finger and pinky into some of my nail designs. So I'm going to incorporate some of that in my plaid design on my thumb. So I just put some of it on my palette, and I'm going to create little tick marks to the left side of the tan line that I have vertically down the left side of my nail. I don't know what it's called. I tried Googling it and it was absolutely no help. So if you know what this is called, let me know. But they're just like short little horizontal tick marks to the left side of the vertical line. And I'm just going down the length of the nail just to create those little marks, regardless of what it's called. I like that it kind of creates a little more visual interest. It adds more of a pop of color into that plaid design. And I like that also incorporates more of that blue into my nail set, so the set is like a little bit more cohesive. So once I've got the tick marks down the side of my nail, I'm going to go ahead and cure that for a full 60 seconds. For my middle finger, I'm going to do a plaid design as well, but it's going to be a little bit different. So I decided to use my Doi Marbly ink. This is in white. I've been looking for a good excuse to use it, and I thought this worked really well. So the marbly inks, they're very liquidy, so I need to make sure that I shake it really well before I use it to reincorporate the pigments because they do tend to settle. So I want to mix them in really well. They have like mixing balls in them. And so what I'm going to do is down the right side of my nail, I'm just going to use the brush that's in the bottle, and I'm going to draw a line down the right side of my nail vertically, similar to what I did for my thumb, except it's going to be thicker because I'm just using the brush that's in the bottle. I'm going to do another line at the free edge horizontally, and then I can add a little bit more of that ink to make it a little bit thicker. From what I understand, these are a little bit different than like alcohol inks, because like alcohol inks, you need to use them on a matte surface and then you can move them around with like some acetone or alcohol. Where these, they can be done on top of like your glossy surface. So I actually just did them on top of the nails on like that tacky layer of the gel polish. I didn't do anything special, and it worked really well. On my ring finger, what I'm doing here is I've just decided to create like a ghost type shape using these inks. And I really love the way it turned out because it's not like this solid opaque ghost. So it's like darker in some areas, lighter in some. So it kind of creates like a little bit of a unique pattern to the ghost. But the one thing is, because I had my finger pointing downwards, all the ink was like running down to the end and pooling there, but I wanted it to be a little more even. So that's why I turned my hand like upside down so that I can get a little bit more of a better distribution and opaquer at like the top of the ghost. But these are air dry. So it's going to air dry probably not even like 2 minutes and it's fully dry. But once it's fully dry, then I'm going to take some of that blue, and then where I have those thick white lines, I'm going to draw a line outlining the thick white line, and then I'm going to draw a line down the center as well. So I'm going to draw three thin lines. The two are like framing the line, and then there's one down the center. I'm using that same longer lining brush. And of course, these lines aren't straight because I just used the ink, the marbly ink. So it's not like gel polish where you can control it. The marbly inks are more of they're going to flow where they're going to flow. So it's a little bit more crooked, but I just thought it was fun to be able to use the marbly inks for like different things because I've had this for a while now, and in like I think I did my jade nail design using these, which was really fun to do, but I wanted to find other ways to use this, and I thought it was really fun to incorporate it in this set. I finished up all my designs and all my layers are fully cured, so now I'm going to go in with my gel top coat. I decided to use the Yogo Zombie gel top coat because this is a thicker top coat, and I wanted to make sure the surface of my nail was even with all that nail art, so I really wanted something thicker that would even out my nail. If you don't care about texture, of course, you could use a thinner top coat, or if you feel like a thicker top coat doesn't cover enough, you can also do just a layer of clear builder gel on top of your nail art, cure that, and then go in with your gel top coat on top of that. It still did have a little tiny bit of texture after I was done with the top coat, but not enough to bother me, so that's why I just kind of left it as is. So I always do my thumb separately, and that way it's not laying sideways in my lamp. So I did my thumb, I flash cured that for about 10 to 15 seconds, and now I'm going to do the rest of my nails and then give my hand a full cure for 60 seconds when that's done. You may have noticed that I skipped my ring finger, and that's just because I wanted to give my ink just a little extra time to dry. I mean, I was pretty confident it was dry, but I just wanted to make extra sure, so I decided to do that last. So that's my word of advice. Make sure that your inks are dry before you top coat them, or else they'll smear. And as always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles with my Scales of a Mermaid cuticle oil. This is in the scent Crisp and Brisk. This is one of my favorite scents from Scales, definitely in my top 5. This scent is like a really fresh and crisp apple scent. It kind of reminds me of like apple picking at the apple orchards growing up. Just so like tart and crisp. And if you do happen to pick up anything at Scales of a Mermaid, I do have an affiliate code, so you can use code Genie10 to save 10% off your orders. So that pretty much wraps up today's video, and I absolutely love the way this set turned out. I had so much fun with the little plaid design for some fall, but of course I had to throw in a little floral ghostie for a little bit of Halloween as well. So leave a fall or Halloween emoji down below in the comments. Let me know what you prefer. And I hope this video is helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!